Hi, this is Dale Buchanan, the host of Puppy Talk Podcast. Before we get started today, I wanted to let you know of my new book, The Complete Puppy Training Manual. It's available on Amazon in 4 formats: Kindle ebook, paperback, hardcover, and audiobook. You can find it on Amazon right now. It's called The Complete Puppy Training Manual, and I will put a link in the show notes of this episode. I'm Dale Buchanan, and this is Puppy Talk, the podcast that offers advice on how to raise a healthy, happy, and obedient puppy. This podcast is sponsored by Top Gun Dog Training. Be sure to subscribe to this podcast now so you don't miss a single episode of Puppy Talk. Welcome to Puppy Talk episode number 35. This is going to be the final installment of the puppy training series. Today I'm going to teach recall, or the come command. Before we get started, I want to make sure that you've listened to our past episodes that teach sit, down, and stay, because everything here goes in progression. So you want to make sure that if you're teaching your puppy recall or to come to you under distractions, that they know how to learn. They have already learned how to learn, and you're going to go through the steps of sit, down, stay, and come. The next thing I want to point out is, do not ever call your puppy to come to you to reprimand them. In other words, you never want to call your puppy to you and then put them in the crate. Because if they come to you and you're doing something that they don't want you to do, the likelihood of them coming to you in the future, no matter how good these skills are that I teach in this episode, are going to be very unlikely. The next thing you want to do is make sure that you have a high-value treat, a high-value food reward on your end if you want your puppy to come to you and learn this behavior. Let's get started with the lesson. There are going to be 3 types of recall that I will teach today. The first one is to place your puppy in a stay, release them with an okay, and then call them to you with the word come. So it's going to be something like this because it has to be very energetic. Dixie, down, stay, and I give it a few seconds. I back up a little bit. Okay, come. Just like that. So you have to be very energetic, or I would do it like this. Dixie, come. Good girl. That's a good girl. Good little puppy. So you have to be very excited, very energetic to get them to come to you, and then have a high-value food reward and never reprimand them. That's the first way that you're going to teach your puppy to come or teach the recall. The second way is going to be to use a long lead. This is a 30-foot leash that I use. I carry with me to all of my clients. I use it with Dixie all the time. What you're going to do is take your puppy outside, take your puppy for a walk, let the puppy go all the way out to the end of the 30-foot leash, and then you're going to say, Dixie, come. And she looks at you and you just tug on the leash a little bit, and she starts running to you. You say, good girl. The second that she starts running to you, you say, good girl, that's a good girl, good baby. And she comes and you give her lots of praise. That's a great way to teach your puppy recall outside under distractions. The long leash enables you to have control of the puppy so they don't run away. Now, the hard thing is if you take your puppy to the dog park and they're having a great time, a lot of times they don't want to come home. And you're running around trying to get your puppy. And if you're running around chasing them, chances are they're not going to ever come to you at all. So you don't want to chase your puppy. You always want to have some high-pitched sound, energetic sound, high-value food reward. Get that puppy to come to you. Number 3 way that I'm going to teach you is called a restrained recall. This is where you're going to need 2 people. And one person is going to hold the puppy because, as you know, your puppy, when you walk away from them, they're going to follow you everywhere you go. So when I work with a client, I hold the puppy still. I put the harness or the collar on them, and I hold them by the harness or the collar, and I let the client, the puppy's owner, walk away from a good distance, 20, 30, 40 feet. And then I'm holding the puppy back and it wants to go. It's like a slingshot. I'm holding the puppy back. And then the owner says, "Dixie, come." And the puppy, boom, I let the puppy go and it launches right towards the owner and runs towards the owner. That is a great way to teach the puppy recall to come to you. It's called restrained recall. And again, make sure that you have high-pitched voice, excited attitude, and high-value reward. Now, how do you use the recall when the puppy's under distractions? This is where it takes a lot of work, a lot of patience, and a lot of practice. When I taught Dixie recall, I literally had started to do this when she was probably 4 months old, and I did it 20 times a day in the house. And then I would take it outside on the walk and I would let her go off the 6-foot leash and go to the end. And then I would just back up slightly and say, "Dixie, come." And she would come back to me. So I practiced recall with her, the come command with her, probably 500 times in a year, maybe more. I lost count, but it's a lot. So you want to practice the recall a lot. I would suggest practicing 3 to 5 minutes a day of the recall. After your puppy has done the sit, the down, the stay, now you've got a good package where you can start to teach your puppy these 4 commands in a circuit training style. So I back up a little bit. I call the puppy, "Dixie, come." She comes. "Good girl. Sit." "Good. Down." "Good girl. Stay." And then I back up a little bit. And then I call her again, "Dixie, come." "Sit." When she sits, right when she comes to me, right when she gets at my feet. "Down." "Good girl. Stay." Then I back up a little bit, and I keep repeating that around. You can also use a bed, a little doggy bed to put them on. "Go to your bed. Down. Stay. Good girl." "Okay, Dixie, come." And she comes to me. That's a great way to do it as well. So there's a lot of options here, but the 4 commands, sit, down, stay, come, I like to use in a circuit training format with all of the puppies that I train that are young puppies to learn how to learn. And when they learn these basic 4 commands, you can go into other commands such as leave it, drop it, wait, heel. Those commands are more intermediate commands, but you want to work with these 4 foundational commands first. And again, if you have not listened to our other episodes, that is sit, down, and stay, you want to go back and listen to those first and then come back around to the recall command. The applications for this are going to be, you can call your puppy to you anywhere in the house. And you want to practice this where you are not in their sight. You go to a different room, go around the corner, and you say, "Dixie, come," and she should come running to you. She doesn't know where you are, she just hears your voice. And that's how you really know that the recall is working well. You can also practice this when you're on the walk, like I mentioned before. You take the puppy on the walk, they get a little bit distracted, you back up a little bit, you touch the leash towards you, and you say, "Dixie, come." And they come back to you, and they sit next to you and wait. That's a great way to do it, and that's what I do with Dixie throughout our walk, every walk, all day. And the next thing you want to do is you want to call the puppy back to you if they get off leash. If you have a yard, for example, if you look at my Instagram and Facebook page for Top Gun Dog Training, I have a video of us working with Molly, a 6-month-old poodle, in the backyard, and we say, "Molly, come," and she comes running to us, and it's in slow motion. It's very good. It's very cute, and you see this puppy come. So they have a backyard with a fence, and they can do that. If you have that capability, definitely do that and start working with the recall in the backyard off leash and test it out on your puppy. I hope this information helps you. And again, this is the last of the 4 of the puppy training series. Next, we're going to get into some more interviews and some more correcting behavior problems for puppies. Stay tuned, have a great day, and be sure to check us out on puppytalkpodcast.com. This is Dale Buchanan, host of Puppy Talk Podcast. I have an announcement of a new book that I just published called Potty Training Your Puppy. It's available on Amazon in Kindle and paperback, soon to be available on audiobook. You can find out all the details of this book using the link in the show notes. It's called Potty Training Your Puppy. It's a comprehensive book with a simple and effective way to help potty train your puppy, and it really works. Check out the link in the show notes.